お嬢様。
Hello my lords and ladies, Joe here. Continuing my series on the character creator, today I will be giving you a quick rundown on what you could consider the flagship race of Final Fantasy XIV. The cat girls and boys themselves, the Miqo'te. What can I say about the Miqo'te? Anyone with a passing knowledge of Final Fantasy XIV know this race, especially the cat girls. But I mean, can you really blame them? Even Elon Musk has been enthralled by their feline charm. The Miqo'te are probably the sole reason why people think Final Fantasy is a weeb game. But everyone plays them. You get a new player and it's almost like a zombie. Their cursor gravitates towards the Miqo'te option in the character creator. It's almost a meme at this point. Simultaneously loved, but viewed as the most basic of basic choices.
Imagine playing a cringe cat girl. No cap, 45% of the game is playing cat girls.
The Miqo'te came to Eorzea during its version of the Ice Age. Known for their hunting skills and nomadic lifestyle, they crossed over the continental ice bridges in search of game. For their clans, you have the Seekers of the Sun, who have eyes of a cat during the day, and Keepers of the Moon, who have eyes of a cat during the night. The Seekers are ruled by the patriarchy, while the Keepers are run by women.
Hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore, and I know too much to go back to pretend.
And their naming conventions center around that. In fact, the Miqo'te have the strictest naming conventions out of every race. It's so rigid that the Seekers of Eorzea have a letter at the beginning of their names to represent their clans, and Seeker males only have two options for surnames, Tia and Noon, which are more like titles than actual names. An in-game example of this is the Forgotten Springs, where the people of Myuu reside. Lots of cat girls, only 3 cat boys, 2 of which have the title of Tia, and 1 with Noon. Noon is the name awarded to the breeding male. And do you know what that means? That's right. Forgotten Springs is one giant harem for this old cat bastard. And these two just have to sit there. Girls even talk about when they're going to bone the old cat over dinner conversation. And this isn't even an exception. This is the rule. A Noon gets a minimum of 10 cat girls to himself, and they can get up to 50. Lucky bastards. But a Tia can become a Noon, and vice versa, through a challenge in physical combat. I'll say this, I have an odd respect for Seeker male players who have Tia in their name. Lore-wise, it's perfect. Noon are rare. So, if you are a Noon, there would be questions to why you're even an adventurer and not just back with your clan banging cat girls all day. So hey, to all those Tia players out there, more power to you.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Seeker female surnames are literally their father's first name, making Noons the ultimate chads. Seekers are mostly found in Ul'dah and Limsa Lominsa. And considering their roles in the clans, it's no shocker that the more adult-styled entertainment seems to be filled with Seeker females. Seekers are also known for having different colored eyes, so finally you have an in-lore reason to make use of that separate eye color option in the character creator. On the flip side, male Keepers take their mother's name as their own, with only a suffix at the end of their forename to mark the order in which they were born in. Females get to have their own name, while keeping their mother's surname. Keepers are also known for wearing face paint, so if you want to splash some on, you've got some lore backing you up. They are mostly found around the Black Shroud, with a negative stereotype of being poachers, kind of like the Dusk White Elezen. But there are lore inconsistencies with the Miqo'te. First, there are some Miqo'te that break naming conventions. Maybe you've noticed the seasonal event NPC, Kipi Jaka? Obviously, she's a seeker of the sun, but does not follow their naming conventions. Also, the way that the Miqo'te speak. Almost every Miqo'te NPC I've met in-game speaks like any other playable race. But once in a while, you'll meet one that speaks like a 1960s Catwoman.
It's foolproof, I tell you. Perfectly foolproof. Yes, my dear, you will make a perfect pinafore to cut you into a perfect pinafore.
One happy lore coincidence is that male Miqo'te are supposed to be more rare than their female counterparts. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but the cat girls are totally outnumbering the boys in the player base. Speaking of Miqo'te male numbers, now is a very strange time to be a catboy. The Endwalker times are upon us, and a prophesied calamity is imminent for our dear Miqo'te males. There are whispers that the male Viera are finally going to leave their forest seclusion, and being hunters, they're going to mistake the Miqo'te for feline prey and hunt them down, all while taking their place in society. Another theory is that many catboys themselves have formed a suicide cult, and on the right day they're going to drink a special suicide potion called Fantasia that'll allow them to ascend from their mortal shells and transfer their souls to the moon, where they will become bun boys. Either way, these are uneasy times for us catboys. And that's the rundown of the Miqo'te. If you play a Miqo'te, tell us which clan and why you picked them in the comments below. If you don't play a Miqo'te, tell us how it feels like to be surrounded by them all the time. And find it in your heart to leave a like and a subscribe. Every like and subscription helps bring awareness to Catboy Fantasia cults. Save a Catboy today.